All right, so it's 2:02 now. I think we should get started. So today's RespondEye webinar, we have our special guest, Kristi Mercado, from the FirstNet West Coast government team. She's our special guest today. She's been extremely busy. I know, Kristi, we spoke, we've been talking on and off, but from last year, I know the Dixie fires in Northern California. You were a part of that, working with teams closely out there, all the way from August through October. How are you doing today, Kristi?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Ari. I appreciate your time today.
You can try. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here with us. We can get to the next slide, Tim. Perfect. So just a quick introduction about ThirdEye, and then we can also go into FirstNet. We can talk a little bit about FirstNet as well. ThirdEye, who we are a hardware and software enterprise solutions provider, end-to-end solutions provider, everything from designing the hardware, customization of software on the AR mixed reality vertical. 20 plus years of mixed reality development for the Department of Defense, which was the spinoff which created ThirdEye. We're also, again, specializing in DoD applications, going into enterprise with new AR solutions like our RespondEye Platform that we're using today to stream this webinar, as well as some other solutions that are out there on the FirstNet catalog, like RespondEye, which we've been able to share on the road with Kristi and her team. We can get to the next slide. Perfect. Kristi, again, our special guest today is Kristi Mercado. We've known each other for some time, and again, thank you so much. I know you've been super busy on your end, but Kristi brings 20 years of experience on the government side, providing strategic forward-thinking solutions with public safety. When we were introduced, we've been traveling also as well. We've been introduced to a few of your folks on the West Coast. We visited Orange County last year. The ThirdEye team, me, myself, and Anthony, who's on this call with 10, we had a chance to visit you guys out there and see some of the work that you're doing. She brings executive relationships knowledge, previously with other telco companies on the public safety side. Anything that I'm missing there, Kristi?
No, Ari, it's just been a pleasure and honor to be in public safety for a very long time now, and side by side with you as a business partner, and then also with all of our first responders out in the field. So thank you.
Maybe muted on your side. And what are, as we get to the next slide here, just what do you see in terms of the relationship so far, the partnership? Yeah, I can hear you. In terms of the partnership with ThirdEye, I know you've invited us to the FirstNet last year. A ton of events that we were able to partner up. We were able to share our RespondEye platform. Can you share with us, with the audience here, some of the immediate benefits that you see with our partnership?
Sure, absolutely. So I really appreciate the partnership with ThirdEye, and seeing it firsthand in the field, I think, is very significant, especially in different life scenarios, whether it's wildland fires, with incident command, being able to pull that imagery back into an emergency command operations center, or if you're the medical personnel out in the field and you're doing remote diagnostics on a patient, maybe there's an earthquake such as in California, and you have a crushed patient syndrome, and you need an expert doctor to come in, but remotely, right? That's where ThirdEye technology really it brings that significant impact to help save that life for the additional information, really situational awareness.
Thank you so much. And also the GPS component built into the headset. I know we had the pleasure of even sharing some of the thermo capabilities, partnering with, I have a thermo camera here somewhere on my end, but we were able to also share, as you mentioned, with earthquake collapses, being able to maybe find folks within rubble or debris. We were able to share the FLIR attachment thermo capability with the X2, which is very exciting for us in some of the fire and rescue shows that you invited us to. So thank you on your end for doing so. Can we just talk a little bit about, and Tim, we can move over to the next. What are some of the embedded IoT? I know there's a massive catalog that FirstNet offers, anything from connectivity to wearable devices. We are the first AR wearable device. But what are some of the catalog items that you guys are offering now to first responders?
Yeah, absolutely. So we offer a whole bunch of different technology solutions for better awareness, and that's why I'm really happy about ThirdEye. I mean, even if you think about it, right, and let's just say I'm a utilities company and I'm out in the field and I have to look at certain gas and electric lines, having that technology to be able to bring that back once again into a situational awareness incident command base or EOC, I think is critical, and it's vital when every second counts, especially when you're out in the field trying to do remote diagnostics, whether it's on utility lines or whether it's on patients or whether it's just an incident and you need to have that situational awareness.
Thank you so much, Kristi. And that is true. We are several verticals. I know we're focused on the FirstNet side on the healthcare vertical, but we also offer other ER solutions across petrol, gas, and other industries, facilities, warehousing, all the good stuff. And I just want to emphasize, I keep talking about GPS on the device. We are one of the only, I would say, the only enterprise headset with a GPS component built in. So now you know where that field technician is, where he or she is located during their task or while they're out on the field, which is pretty nice. What makes the X2 MR glasses different? Again, we are an Android-based platform, which makes it open source, very easy to develop on. We have an open framework, standalone wearable device, so the processor is built in to the headset. You're hands-free while you're wearing the headset. We were using a Qualcomm processor built into the left arm, and you could also use the headset indoors and outdoors. We have 500 nits in terms of brightness, which has been a huge benefit for first responders, as we've been able to share with you, Kristi. And you have a 9 degrees of field of view, IMU built into the headset, as well as a flashlight. And the connectivity for the X2 is going to be using a hotspot, or you can go via Bluetooth as well. And I know that for FirstNet, we are using the hotspots currently. So we have hotspots that have been deployed for FirstNet out on the field that we've had great success with on our end. And thank you so much, Kristi, for making those introductions. I have another for you while we have it here. I know we've traveled to several shows that you guys have been very generous in inviting us to. My question to you is, how has the energy been within the team, your team, in terms of interest in being within a partner with ThirdEye on the augmented reality side?
Yeah, thanks, Ari, for the question. And it's been great energy inside of the FirstNet team. The more that the technology comes out with these cutting edge solutions to help save lives and property, with that, every time situational awareness is very important. So the teams are excited as we evolve. This is a 25-year contract, as you know, with the federal authority. And seeing technology such as yours really makes an impactful difference for our first responders out in the field. So the teams are very excited to be working with ThirdEye side by side and their first responders.
Thank you so much, Kristi. I appreciate it. Any feedback from your side? I know we've had the privilege of introducing the headset. It's got everybody excited, as you just mentioned. What's some of I know you mentioned the good energy coming from the team. Everybody's excited. In terms of, I know we had a few folks wear the device. Any feedback directly from those folks that we were able to share the headset with on the shows when we were there?
Yeah.
Maybe for one particular person.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're really excited about it. They are actually looking at this for multiple reasons, not only situational awareness, but employee safety, right? So it's one thing to be out there in the field helping your day in and day out job, whether you're, in a real life situation of disaster or whether you're inspecting lines or things, depending what your job role is, but it's also about employee safety. So it has two facets to this. So the customers are very excited and so are the teams.
Thank you so much, Kristi. Tim, we can get to the next slide here. So again, the challenges that we saw as a team, we've been working very closely, state of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, as well as New York now. We're working on 2 deployments in New York City. The challenges that we saw, even in the emergency room portion, just being overburdened with multiple calls coming in. Our RespondEye platform provides a triage system to allow each call to be routed to each individual doctor that has the application downloaded on their cell phone, on a tablet within the medical command desk. A few other things is the challenge is we didn't have eyes on the streets, essentially, or on the field. Before, we were working with a specific team where they were using their cell phones to transmit, let's say, PHI, because those were the resources that were available. The solution with RespondEye is now you can bring the doc right into the field, helping the paramedic make let's say a stroke assessment or pre-stroke assessment using the RespondEye platform, which is HIPAA compliant. A few of the things we noticed on the EMS side was folks started to use the glasses, got comfortable with the headset, started to do multiple things on the device outside of just the RespondEye platform, pictures, obtaining audio that you could store within a government cloud to be HIPAA compliant, and then transmit back to medical command for training purposes, education purposes. So what are some of the challenges on your side that you've seen, Kristi? I know you mentioned a few at the beginning. You see RespondEye being beneficial for, just so we, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Ari, you said it right on the button there is, traditionally the teams need better situational awareness, especially if they're in remote areas and they need specialists that are going to be coming in, but they're too far away, right? Let's just say there's a specialist that needs to assist in a situation, but they're several hours away. With ThirdEye technology and the capabilities, especially with FirstNet, so you have that guaranteed connection partnering with ThirdEye, they're able to pull in the right resources to any situation that they need.
Perfect. Again, we've spoken heavily on the benefits of the RespondEye platform. You guys are providing us the 4G, 5G connectivity on the FirstNet side. I know there's been massive advancements. What's the roadmap on, on 5G on the FirstNet network? Can we talk a little bit about connectivity on FirstNet?
Sure, absolutely. So as we evolve from 4G to 5G, the FirstNet core will be able to support that, and then any of the 5G devices. So we're really excited about the new technology as we evolve. And as I mentioned before, this is just going to continue to evolve into new exciting technology and being able to support on any level, right? Pretty soon, I'm sure we're going to even be seeing 6G, not in the near term future. So,
yes. 6G is already out there. Yeah, 6G is going to be very exciting. I know 5G, there's a bunch of components to that you guys are leaders in. So I get another very exciting reason for us to be partnered with you guys. And I just, to emphasize here, and we say this in other webinars as well, RespondEye is a cross-platform, it's a cross-platform functional. So a lot of the folks who get on the training side, we started on tablets, even cell phones, and then transitioned into wearable devices because it's still fairly new in terms of behavior for people to put on a device onto their head. But in terms of training, we've started also on tablets, being that we can use RespondEye on tablet cell phones. The HIPAA compliant portion, we partnered with a West Coast giant called The Guard, which do all of our back-end auditing training for our teams, IP hosting in terms of who's got access to the platform on the back end. And then also the saving side, the EMS saving side, patient saving side. The entire platform was built on the focus of better patient outcomes. And outside of that, being able to train the EMS folks with new technology to give them a leg up on the field. One thing I also want to talk about, we're using FirstNet for RespondEye. We also have the ability to run RespondEye locally. So we've had some requests from a few medical groups for security reasons, in terms of running the platform locally on a server. We also provide that service, and we have documentation we can share. I know I've shared some of that with your folks as well, Kristi.
That's great, Ari.
Tim, we can get to the next slide, please. Great. So the platform provides you real-time patient updates. You can gain access to live patient care instructions. A big roadmap item that I want to talk to everybody here about, and I might have shared this before, is we are partnering up with Epic and Cerner in providing patient health records within 1,000 yards of the medical facility. That is a roadmap item that's in the works currently in order to access previous patients that may have access to the medical center. It's something that is the next milestone for the RespondEye platform. We also know with telehealth, a few states, there's a few pilot programs in the works in order to be able to use telehealth and billing purposes for revenue for hospitals or for services provided. And then you also, again, the cross-device compatibility of the platform is a massive plus and it's been a great success on the training side, getting folks getting back on board or starting to use wearable devices. There's a huge same component that hospitals are measured with that I've learned. It's needle to balloon time from when the patient room is set up, and that's a metric that we've added into the RespondEye platform, and we're also adjusting certain metrics to benefit medical centers, EMS folks in terms of how they're using the platform. What are some roadmap items with us partnered with FirstNet?
I'm sorry, Ari, can you repeat that? I think it cut out just for
No worries at all. No, just in terms of the telehealth portion of FirstNet. What are some of the roadmap items that you guys have on the horizon for FirstNet within your team that you guys see with telehealth use?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, telehealth is big, right, on a multitude of levels. Once again, just getting those specialized doctors in on the access of the technology is critical. I can also tell you telehealth has been big in the inmate system, right? Just making sure that the patients in the inmate system are receiving the proper health care that they need as well. I know that's big here in California. So I think the more that you can leverage this technology and bring in those specialized doctors underneath telehealth is critical. And then really for paramedics and EMTs out in the field on disasters, where maybe there's burn patient victims, or maybe, like I said, in an earthquake, because I'm coming out California, or hurricanes or floods or things along those lines, you need those healthcare professionals to be able to bring in a telehealth specialist depending on what they run into. I mean, you know, Ari, what's really interesting is sometimes we're just talking about this. With telehealth, you even need to bring in veterinarian specialists, right? So it's not just humans you're dealing with, you're also dealing with a loved one's animal that's going to be impacted and need, believe it or not, but telehealth maybe from a specialized vet out in the field too.
Thank you for mentioning that. And I just want to bring up a point. We had a recent call with a few folks on the FEMA side that were down in Kentucky with a major tornado that happened there. And a huge focus, obviously, was recovering people from their homes. There was a few people that expired due to the tornado. But then there was a huge effort also on the pet side in terms of finding people's pets or trying to determine what happened to people's pets and stuff like that. And we discussed using the headset and able to search for pets and for folks throughout the tornado. So we're in talks on the FEMA side to see how we can have more rapid deployments, larger deployments with use of the X. And we know that first it's going to train us, and you guys are on board with us. You guys do a lot of work already on the government side, you do specifically. But we're excited to put these out there to help save lives, to help folks out there, people, animals, everybody. So one of the newest features, obviously, providing medical command physicians and other emergency department personnel with a live ETA, going back to that GPS component built into the headset. We now have an ETA where the doctor knows that that patient is en route with the paramedic, which was not available before. And that's been a huge benefit with use of the X2 that we've seen from our experience in real time, where you can assign and have beds ready, which is another major metric that folks are judged on. But that ETA component, we're also revamping, we're also updating monthly to make it more for the accuracy level of that GPS component built into the headset. Also, connectivity is crucial. One of the reasons why we partnered with FirstNet and being able to provide hotspots, et cetera. How important do you see distance from a hospital and ETA serving the purpose of in the stuff that you've experienced, Kristi? With the things you've experienced, excuse me.
Yeah, I think that's what's critical, right, Ari, is having that dedicated connection. And then as you're talking about ETA with patients, every single second counts when you have a life on the line, right? Whether it's human or whether it's your animal, your loved, any loved one. It's just a matter of being able to bring the right solution to that situation. And that's really where I think ThirdEye comes in. It's so critical, right? Is you're bringing in the right answer and the right resources to the situation to help resolve the issue faster.
Right. Thank you so much. And we're excited to be a part of it all. It's been a huge vertical that we've jumped into in the last 2.5, almost 3 years. Obviously, partnering up with the big telcos like FirstNet, it's been a huge learning curve for the company in terms of the developers that we need on board to get the job done, working hand in, with the chief of EMS folks, doctors. We're going into the surgical side of things as well with use of the headset. Just to give you a heads up, we have a few things in play on some other use cases within those medical facilities. And we do know that there are medical centers that are outfitted with FirstNet on the connection side, which we've seen, which has been a huge, massive, giving them a leg up essentially in terms of connectivity for sure. Tim? Great. So I know we spoke a little bit about the partnership earlier when we started the webinar. Kristi, if we can just, I know having the partnership with us, with you guys has been a huge plus for us to have more situational awareness with the connections you guys provide. Also, the technology evolves. It's continuing to evolve with different versions coming out, which we will share more updates with the public. We also have other wearable devices I wanted to share with you, Kristi, here on this live call, that we are developing prototypes that we're going to be sharing with your team soon. Headsets that are explosive proof depending on the environment. So if you're going to that earthquake environment and you need to get out into an environment where you need to have a ruggedized or more ruggedized headset, which the XT provides already, we're going to share those new wearable prototypes with you. I wanted to tell you on the call today.
Yeah, I think, Ari, that's great. And then also during COVID, right, the remote hospitals and the vaccination centers and just everything else, do you want to touch base at all, like maybe how ThirdEye can help out with the COVID response?
Sure. With the COVID response, I will say this, the way we were introduced into the healthcare vertical was due to COVID, when it first, 2020 March, I believe. We saw an immediate need for, when temperature was the main focus at that point, it was temperature was a big way to diagnose maybe a patient. So we decided to partner with FLIR to provide a secondary scan. So we've accessorized the X2, where you can now take a patient's temperature. So paramedics will be with the patient to determine a patient's temperature while out on the field, and then transmit that back to a medical center, where the idea to accessorize the X2, which is not available on other wearables. So the COVID response, it initially started with us providing facility managers with the solution to bring back staff that were coming in from some time off, and being able to scan them for temperatures as a secondary source, and then pull them aside and do a primary scan with another thermal solution. But that's how we were introduced into the healthcare vertical. I know we spoke a little bit about this in terms of temperatures and stuff like that, but also providing the remote assistance for cancer centers, for hospices. We're actually working with the hospice group out of Florida currently. They're deploying the X2s in order to connect to a local hospital, so they can provide telehealth services to the folks there. You no longer have to leave the facility.
That's great.
But we're excited. I know that the RespondEye application, there's a verification and certification process. Can you talk to us a little bit about the software side of FirstNet, the process in getting into FirstNet? For some of the other folks, we have partners that may be interested in joining FirstNet. Can you share a little bit about what that process is or what that looks like?
Sure, absolutely. Well, thanks for the question. And we have a really great process that we work with. It's called the Sandbox team through FirstNet. And if there's any business partners that are interested, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and set up a meeting so you could discuss the technology that's new and cutting edge. As I mentioned before, this is a 25-year contract. We're constantly looking for new business partners, new technology, and then it goes through the vetting process, right? So the Sandbox team will go ahead and look at the technology and how it applies, specifically partnering up with FirstNet and helping out first responders out in the field. And it goes through a pretty interesting process. Not everyone could be on FirstNet, but as long as you're truly, a technology partner that has a solution for first responders, then, like I said, you got to go through the Sandbox team and evolve from there and be FirstNet certified.
Thank you so much, Kristi.
You're welcome.
Hey, Tim. Perfect. So a few of the applications of situational awareness that we discussed throughout incidents. I know we spoke of earthquakes, medical remote diagnostic, and then the other components, utilities, gas and electric, being able to This is a great question that came up that I want to, just for the audience here, you are able to use FirstNet for other applications, not just solely focused on the healthcare vertical. Is that correct, Kristi?
That's correct, right. It's called extended primary. So there's a primary, law, fire, EMS, and then there's extended primary, which covers a lot of different areas. So it just depends on what the customers are looking to do. I mean, it could even be like at a school for a school resource officer, right? It could be utility companies. It could be transportation. It could there's a lot of different things that we'll work with the various teams on and how this can apply.
Thank you so much, Kristi. And I know we have all that documentation. We see the structure and how everything is divvied up. First responders get their own band in terms of priority, as you just mentioned. But other folks can also be a part of the FirstNet solutions catalog as well, as you mentioned.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that. Perfect. So what we offer as a package solution, we offer the X2 mixed reality headset that is FirstNet ready and certified as a standalone wearable device, as I have here on my head. Android-based, hands-free, versatile headset. Our headset's being used in all sorts of applications, everything from obviously healthcare vertical, paramedics, cement plants, mining in South America, several verticals that the headset's being used. So we package a RespondEye Platform, which is $49.99 per month per user. The X2s retail at $24.50 per headset, but there are discounts with 25 units plus on the hardware side. And then we also bundle our solutions with the hotspot that's available through FirstNet. So we have access to the command portal on the back end in terms of how data is being used on the FirstNet network. I wanted to ask Kristi, I know we're using hotspots currently. Our next roadmap item that we have is to embed a SIM card directly into the headset. We're also working on a prototype headset that will have an embedded solution. Does FirstNet offer any SIM solutions currently within the catalog, Kristi?
Yes, we certainly do. And we have a very expensive, the catalog online through FirstNet.com has a ton of different applications that they can look at with SIMs in it.
What SIMs? Okay. Available for wearables and for tablets.
Absolutely. And Ari, that's the other thing, as wearables expand, right? I think that's what we're really going to see in the market space is more and more wearables with the SIM card activation in it. So it does have that dedicated throughput on the FirstNet network, right, from the federal authority, which is important, especially when you're out on an incident. So, we do have a lot of different ways to connect our responders out in the field, as long as they have FirstNet inside of their device.
Thank you so much. And we'll be in line to give the SIMs a shot when it comes to the other prototype type units in play that we'll be able to insert a SIM right into the headset, which is going to be very fun to try and test on our side. Tim?
Yeah, that's exciting.
Here we go. So the phase deployments that we've done with some of the folks that we've worked with in Pennsylvania and New Jersey as well. First phase deployment, you start your pilot program or identify the POCs. First phase that we recommend is starting off with 5 units, 5 X2s, starting off with individual hotspots that are FirstNet ready in that deployment, as well as your MDM platform so you can navigate and assign how the experience is going to be, whether it be a paramedic, a utility worker, in terms of controlling the experience for the field technician or for the paramedic. And then we identify after phase 1, we go into phase 2, integration process. Getting it all set up, web-based, having everybody trained within your team, extending to maybe a different facility, a second facility, to see how we can leverage training the folks that are there and just looking at metrics in terms of how everything's being used, from the wearable device to the X2, also the connection side from FirstNet. And then we go into mass nationwide deployment. And that's where we get busier to see how we can extend and see how those metrics are working in phase 3. Where we can deploy additional headsets, additional connections out into the field. And then phase 4 is where we decide where's the competitive advantage. And if this is something that you've seen a massive benefit within your teams, within your company, your group, to then move on to bigger projects. And we even see in our partnership with FirstNet, and I'll leave this to you, Kristi. I believe with this 4-phase approach, from what we've seen, we've gotten tremendous feedback, and it's been a huge success for us. What are some of the things that FirstNet does on your side in terms of phases, in terms of deployment of your solutions?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think FirstNet is that critical connection, right? As we've been mentioning, anything that has FirstNet in it, you're going to have that no throttling dedicated throughput on the FirstNet network. So I do see that as we evolve with different technologies, it's critical and important, right? And that's why I really love seeing how you're going to be evolving, Ari, with your technology. It's great today and it's so critical, but as we evolve even faster, seeing how we can improve first responders out in the field, their time on incidents.
Thank you so much, Kristi. And we're, again, with the partnership, we're excited to, I know we've mapped out together in our group, we've mapped out the strategy in advance for this year, for the following year, to see how, where we're going to be, what we're doing. We're working on some fun stuff together. And I'm very excited to continue. I want to thank you also, Kristi. I know you're, again, a very busy person in your space, and but you're always there to answer questions for us, to get the ball rolling with us, offer different strategies in terms of some other spaces that we could get into with use of FirstNet. So thank you so much for that. Can't thank you enough for that from our team.
You're welcome.
Hey, Ari, I just wanted to make a quick announcement.
On the support side, why use ThirdEye? A big component of us that makes us very different. Thank you, Kristi. A big thing with us is that, yes, sure.
I was just gonna say that since I'm the moderator of the call right now, I don't have the ability to present and also mute people, but there are a few attendees that are making a little bit of noise on their keyboard, so I just want to politely ask everybody to make sure they're muted during the presentation. And thank you, Art.
Thank you so much, Tim. So what makes this, the support side of ThirdEye is a very concierge, something that we're very proud of. We offer 24/7 support for FirstNet, for all of our clients. So 24/7 support to assist customers, and then we've seen a preference, right? Some folks want to communicate via Telegram, Signal. Some folks want to communicate via text. So we're very flexible in terms of the communication that you prefer. We also map out training for your entire teams. We've trained a little over 240 folks on the paramedic side, both full-time and part-time. And we have the ability to schedule, how do we do an on-site training? Who do we need to train first? What would be the supervisors? Maybe identify the technology within that team that will then train. We're very flexible in terms of offering those packages on the support side. And then it's also about the preference. So Middle East, there's a huge preference in using Signal, for example. We use Signal or WhatsApp as an option. But we're very flexible on the support side, and I think that's given us a huge leg up. I know also FirstNet offers amazing support. Kristi, tell us a little bit about FirstNet support offerings, some of the support you guys offer.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Ari. So for any FirstNet customer, we offer 24/7 technical support. We also offer other support as far as if they just want to call in and see some information. We have dedicated teams across the nation, the FirstNet consultants that will give support to them, and technical resources from sales to everything they could possibly need. We also are partnered closely with the federal authorities, so the federal government, and we have resources on that side too. If they don't want to speak to somebody from the AT&T FirstNet side of the house, they could always have other resources from the federal government they could speak with.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kristi. Thank you. And then roadmap items, integration with Stryker Life Pack 15 heart monitors. We're doing that now. It's been a fun experience. I will say this. Portable ultrasounds, that's something that's in play as a roadmap item as well. And then the integration portion I mentioned earlier is patient health records, which is the big component of this, right? Being able to identify a previous patient that visited the medical center and then provide service on the field, essentially, or being able to gather all of that data so that the EMS or the paramedic is not waiting in that emergency room environment to process paperwork or to process other things, which we've seen from our experience. We're trying to make it not only more efficient, but just to obviously following all HIPAA regulation and on the compliance side, but we want to make life easier for the folks that are out there providing services, putting their lives on the line, because not everybody can do the job of a first responder in different verticals, obviously. And then obviously the 5G component, Kristi spoke a little bit about those SIMs on the FirstNet side on the catalog that are available, and with additional SIMs that will be available down the road. But the chipset that we're looking to embed into the next version of the prototypes, we're working with a few partners, including FirstNet, to see how we deploy this in a very successful way with our 4-phase approach that we use at ThirdEye. Any roadmap items on the FirstNet side that you want to share with us, Kristi?
Well, Ari, I just want to say we're constantly having roadmaps coming out, so there's some very exciting things that you're going to see shortly from us, and I'm excited to, I can't say everything, but I'll just say wait to see what comes to end of and into next year. It's going to be exciting. I
tried to get something, right, like a sneak peek from the FirstNet side, but I know there's a lot of top secret stuff that happens of course, we all know, but thank you. I know you'll share with us a lot of fun stuff that's coming down the pipeline, and we have our week have dibs on. Perfect. So I just want to open the chat here. I didn't see any questions come in, but I'm going to ask for a little more frequently asked questions that we get on the headset. One of the frequently asked questions is access to the camera. If you're wearing the X2s, let's say that you forget your hotspot, which has happened in some cases. You have the ability to connect, which we don't necessarily recommend, to another Wi-Fi source. We recommend you use FirstNet hotspots on the security side. But if you lose connectivity for whatever reason on that side, you do have access to the built-in 13 megapixel camera to take pictures and video as well as audio. And what will happen is once that connectivity is reestablished, let's say you're inside a basement environment, for example, that data will be sent over to the network. So you do have access to the cameras that are built into the X2, and you can use those functionalities while you're offline or online. There's also a flashlight component built into the headset, ruggedized headset. So there's a lot of fun things that you can use with the X2. Another question is that we get most often on the warranty coverage side for the headset, we provide a 1-year warranty on the X2, and that covers the processor and the battery. And what happens there is we also provide an accidental damage plan similar to a cell phone. So if you want additional coverage, we provide that as well. And we provide discounted pricing on deployments over 25 units, which we call ThirdEye Protect. Also, I know FirstNet provides a warranty coverage on hardware wearable devices on their end as well. Kristi, anything on that side? Not to go into the warranty talk here. I'm a support guy, so that's what's always in the back of my head.
No worries. Already mentioned that you mentioned.
Okay. Another thing is how do you get started? That's another common question that we get at ThirdEye. I know Kristi spoke a little bit about getting started with FirstNet. At ThirdEye, you can reach us at sales@thirdeyegen.com. Also, if you visit our website, there is a chat bot that'll show up. That's actually a live bot. I'm correcting myself here. There are a few folks that are monitoring that live chat feature on our thirdeyegen.com website. So you have the ability to interact 24/7 with any questions that you have, how to get started, how to get your first deployment set up, or even strategize with us. ThirdEye as a consultant, not only hardware software providers, we're a consultant. We provide strategies. We can also provide you with the best resource if you're deciding which wearable device works best for us or what may work best for us. We have the experience on the FirstNet side, so we can share some things on FirstNet as well, how to get started with FirstNet, how our experience has been, which has been awesome, thanks to Kristi. I always say that, Kristi, thanks to you and a lot of the folks on your side. Asha's been massively helpful too. Jeff Pedro has been massively helpful. The resources are endless on the channel marketing side on FirstNet. So I want to give you guys a shout out. I know we communicate a lot, but I want to give you guys a shout out for that too.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're at 2:44 here in time. I think we're good here with the webinar. Anything you want to share with us, Kristi, with the audience that's out there while we're still on the call?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Ari. I just want to say once again, thank you very much for the partnership. You know, ThirdEye has been absolutely incredible. I think you probably remember I was actually back east. I'm a California girl, but I was back east at the time, and I saw the partnership, and I said, wow, since I'm back here, I gotta, reach out to you guys and get some more details. And you were kind enough to get everyone together on a phone, and I was super excited about the technology because in my own heart, I'm a public safety person, right? So I said, this is exactly the right answer for what we need out in the field. And like I said, today what we covered a multitude of things, right? So I would say anyone listening, definitely ThirdEye, I believe it fits in any type of a position that you have inside of your organization, right? It's a lot more than just what we've been talking about today. So please get with Ari and the team at ThirdEye, get with our FirstNet consultants. Let's do this together as a partnership and help save lives and property. That's what this is all about. So Ari, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, for taking the time with us.
Oh, so damn fun. So good.
But yes, we're very excited again for the partnership on your end. Massive resource for us on the telco space. So thank you so much, Kristi. Look forward to many more things that we have in play currently. We're working together, and we'll chat some more next week throughout the week. I know back and forth. But anybody who's listening, as Kristi mentioned, reach out to us, reach out to me directly on the ThirdEye side. I'll link you up with Kristi on the FirstNet side as well, some of the consultants that we're working with right now. And then we'll take it from there. Thank you everybody for your time today, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.